Please welcome to the stage Patricia Heaton of World Vision and our esteemed panel.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Patricia Heaton. I'm here with World Vision, and this is our panel taking a leading role in solving the global water crisis. The reason this is so important to me is I've traveled extensively with World Vision. I've seen the problems that a lack of clean water causes, and I've also seen the extraordinary impact bringing clean water to these places has on communities. I'm pleased to be joined by Edgar Sandoval, who is my friend, but also president and CEO of World Vision, Allison Tummon Camphouse, P&G Global Program Leader for Gender Equality and Children's Safe Drinking Water Program, and Pia Yasuko Rask, Senior Director, Safe Water at Grundfos. So Edgar, let's start off with talking about the first trip that both you and I took to Zambia. It was our first trip with World Vision. Can you set the scene for us a bit, like why we're here? Why is this a key moment to be talking about clean water?
Thank you, Patricia, and it's an honor to be with you together again. You're such a great friend of World Vision. If I may, I'd like to start with just sharing a little bit about who World Vision is with the audience. We are a Christian, child-focused, community-empowering organization, and that means we work with families on the ground to empower them to lift themselves out of poverty. And this is a really important gathering today. The world is experiencing a critical moment for the world's poorest children. And that's because of increasing war, conflict, more extreme and unpredictable weather patterns, the direct and indirect impact of COVID on health for sure, but also livelihoods and education and child protection. Patricia, we both saw this recently in Turkana, Kenya. Yep. Where there's families that are facing the worst drought in 40 years. 40 years. They're watching their livelihoods, their livestock die one by one. And all they have left for subsistence is these things they call wild fruit. But really, it has the consistency of sawdust. It's not good for the children. And so that's the bad news. But there is good news, and that's why we're here today. We know what to do to save lives. And the key is partnerships. The key is partnerships. For example, World Vision is the largest implementing partner of the World Food Program. And we're right now in Kenya and in other parts in the world providing life-saving food. But there's more that needs to be done. More collaboration is needed, particularly in the area of water and clean water and access to basic clean water, which is foundational to all of our efforts.
Yes, and I was just in Turkana right after you for a very quick 24-hour trip, and I saw firsthand the issues there. It was clear to me, again, that water is foundational to solving these problems. So what is World Vision doing in this area?
Yeah, I'll start with a pretty remarkable fact. World Vision today is providing clean water to a new person every 10 seconds. And we're able to do that driven by four things. One is our multi-sector approach. Second, our global footprint. Third, our local staff expertise. And last but not least, our strategic partnerships. Multi-sector approach means that we take an end-to-end approach from relief, then relief programming, to then transitioning into transformational community development. We are often the first ones in and the last ones out. We take a long-term view and work with communities on the ground to provide access to basic needs like water, health, education, access to small loans for entrepreneurs, et cetera, et cetera. So that's multi-sector approach. The global footprint simply means that we are one of the largest NGOs in the world. We're nearly in 100 countries. And what that means is when we scale, we go big. Local staff expertise. This is how change is enabled from within the community. 98% of our staff are nationals in the countries where we operate. They know the customs, they know the culture, they know the influencers. They are able to build trust, which is another foundation to progress. And last but not least, our we like to think of ourselves at the core as bridge builders. And we partner with other NGOs, with governments, with corporations, foundations, with the church, with other faith leaders on the ground, with academia. It really does take all these partnerships to have sustainable progress. And that's one of the reasons I'm so honored to be here with two of our best partners as well.
So tell us about these really ambitious goals that you've now set with our partners.
Yes, they are ambitious, they are shared. And what I will say is World Vision has been providing access to clean water for decades via large-scale projects in places like Africa. But in 2015, we challenged ourselves to take on a more global role. And this was at the same time as the Sustainable Development Goals were being adopted. We zoomed into SDG number 6, which is all about water access. And with our partners, we declared an ambitious goal to deliver basic access to clean water to everyone, everywhere we worked. And that was...
Is that all?
That's it.
Right.
And that was the pretty ambitious goal of 50 million people getting new access to clean water in 15 years. And I am delighted to report that about the halfway mark in terms of time elapsed, we have actually reached already 25 million people with clean water, and we're on track to finish the job.
I mean, that's pretty amazing. I had the privilege of being in Rwanda and being at a celebration, as you're seeing there, of opening a new water facility, and it's just a privilege to be a part of this work. Let's talk about our partners. Allison, you're with P&G. Tell us why P&G has chosen to invest in World Vision as your partner.
Well, it was a pretty straightforward choice. World Vision has been a partner of ours for more than 14 years now, and we have worked in literally A to Z, Afghanistan all the way to Zimbabwe, 33 countries around the world, and part of it is the scale that Edgar talked about. Part of it is that deep immersion and engagement with communities, because as he said, there's a lot to be done in the communities, and water is such an important place to start. When you see communities before they have access to clean water, kids are not in school, they're not healthy, and yet the transformational power of clean water that World Vision brings really changes that equation. You see kids are healthy, they're in school. You see a very different picture for women and girls, some of the most vulnerable in the communities. When they have clean water and they're not bearing that burden of the household water needs, they're in school. They're doing other economic opportunities for their family that can lift the family and beyond that, the entire community out of poverty. So for us, that's something that we look to do. We build bridges, just like you said. We have a small technology, these little packets, P&G Purifier of Water, invented by some of our laundry scientists. And it's literally a bridge. You use this early on. You take dirty water that you wouldn't want to even step into or walk through. We transform it in 30 minutes. World Vision staff on the ground, they know how to engage people. The behavior change is so important. And then it becomes a bridge to a more permanent, sustained solution, things like Grundfos's systems. And we see that over time, that bridge becomes a sustainable part of change in the community, and it leads to so many other things. So we're delighted to partner, and we see this all around the world. I've had the privilege as well, like you, Patty, like you, Pia, to see this work on the ground. And I remember some of the, there's a special woman I remember from our time in Ghana, Bachibola, and she went community by community, and she had a pedal bike. She had a personal injury early in her life, and she said, little by little, step by step, she's going to keep going around to all these communities. And so she, like in so many other World Vision communities, are changing lives. And so we're proud to partner with them.
And tell us in particular that a little bit more about the impact on women and girls in these communities when this happens.
Well, it's fascinating to see because women have such a critical role to play in these needs in the community. They are the ones, working to, educate the children. They make choices to invest back into the family and community as well. So you can provide clean water for a woman. She will have the opportunity to provide for her children. This is universal wherever you go. And she will make the choices to have her children in school and have a better future. And so the work that World Vision does enables women to do that all around the world. And it's really remarkable to see.
Yeah, I've seen it myself where it even improves relationships between husbands and wives, because the tensions from the problems subside and they have a better relationship, better communication, and start working together. So it's really wonderful. Pia, tell us about the Safe Water team at Grundfos. Now, why have you chosen to invest in water, and what in particular is the role of the private sector in all of this?
That's a very good question. I ask myself that every day, actually, because I think that's a sliding scale. So Grundfos was established in 1945, and I think we are in the business of water, so we obviously care. We're one of the world's biggest pump manufacturers and water solutions providers. I think the way we think about it is that the heart is the pump, and that is the heart of the system then, and that's how we really care about what we do, because without that, you don't have anything to move the water around. We're foundation owned, which I think makes a big difference for us. It's not a philanthropic arm, it's actually our owners. So we play always the really, really long game. And our founder was himself very familiar with what poverty was. And I think we see water access not just as water access, but actually access to opportunity as well. And that's why it's so important to us. And Safe Water was established at the back of that, you could say, to make sure that we don't just serve what's right in front of us, but that we also focus on finding solutions that really suit also the most vulnerable communities, and make sure we get water to everyone everywhere in that way, because you need the heart everywhere.
Yes. And how has partnering with World Vision been valuable in your work?
It's been really, really valuable to us. I mean, we try to make needs-based technology, so we need to understand what's happening on the ground. I think Grundfos has had the privilege to always try to, I don't know, can you say see around corners in English? I'm almost in doubt about that. But as technology provider, you need to see around corners, because when people are ready, you need to have available what it takes to then get where you want to go. And this is some of what World Vision has really helped us do. We brought the solar pump to market already in the 80s. We brought the AQ-Tap, which is a water ATM, more than 10 years ago with mobile payment in Kenya, before we had it in Denmark, where we're headquartered. And sometimes we're too early. We were a bit too early, maybe also with the mini solar pump. That's a hand pump swap that was actually based on the insights we got from World Vision, because of the size and the specialism you have and your experience on the ground. Those insights into trends as well, and into the whole sector movement and the specific challenges on the ground, meant that we went out and said, okay, we need a small solar pump that we can simply swap for the hundreds of thousands of hand pumps out there, so we can take that first step up the water service ladder. So it is hugely impactful what the World Vision brings to us. And I had this other thought I wrote down, is that it enables us to be a better business, be better people, so to say, but it actually also enables us to do better business. So we really try to couple those two together, because we're best where the market mechanisms are at work. That's where we can scale. And I think this is really where the partnerships gets really, really strong, is when we find that ground where we can scale together. So really important for us, the partnership we have with World Vision and the insights they give for us to even drive our business forward.
Fantastic. Edgar, we've been talking a lot about finishing the job and how important that is. And for World Vision, that means getting water to every single person in every country that we work in, which is close to 100 countries. Tell us about how World Vision is going to accomplish that big goal.
Absolutely. Thank you, Patty. There's so many benefits to partnerships. One of them is our impact, multiplier impact, but also iron sharpens iron. And we challenge each other to do better and to do more. And one of the things we ask ourselves is, what if we can accelerate the pace and focus in, let's say, one country and prove that we can finish the job? And so we did that. We're on track to finish the job in Rwanda, where we set a goal to bring clean water to everyone, everywhere we work in the country of Rwanda, which is about 1 million people, in 5 years. Instead of taking 8, we're going to do it in 5. And again, excited to share that we're on track to achieve that goal. And next, we're going to Zambia, and after that, we're going to Honduras.
And Allison and Pia, you've both been working with World Vision in Rwanda, so you've been able to be a part of that exciting project. How has this collaboration helped to advance the water situation in Rwanda?
Well, I think we started in Rwanda several years ago, more than 10 years ago now, and it was a catalyst. It was a catalyst for our plan and our strategy of how we work with World Vision. It was a bridge. Again, the bridge is the metaphor here today. It was the bridge from using the packets initially, like I said earlier, to the bridge to the long-term solution that can really make a difference in communities. And so for us, it was a recognition that that was a way for us to work around the world and work together with the water teams that are doing this amazing work. And so it's led to great things in Rwanda, but many other countries around the world.
And tell us about Grundfos and that collaboration with Rwanda.
Yeah, I just want to reflect on you saying bridge, because I think that's so important that we're not going to get from here to there without steps on the way. So we talked about the hand pump swap for a small solar, and I think what we did in Rwanda with World Vision is now booster systems, and that's new technology. We just finished installing 4 booster systems, I think. No one should have to walk for water, so that's the end goal, of course. But we couldn't do it without World Vision because technology works with people. And to be quite honest, it was a tough deal in Rwanda with the new technology. But I think this is where the strength of the partnership really proved itself, because when you start up, you say, what are you bringing to the table? Oh, I'm bringing this. What are you bringing to the table? Oh, I'm bringing this. And I think in Rwanda, we really just worked through it, and it became more than what each of us brings to the table. It became a team trying to find a solution to the issues at hand, and it was more like what happened between the teams that solved the problem. So it became more than the sum of just Grundfos and World Vision. It became, okay, let's solve this, let's take the lessons learned and make sure that now we take this success forward to the next site and the next site and the next site. So I thought that was very, very exciting. And my other thought around that was, this is where we moved the needle. That's why I will admit the 6 months where we were having a lot of issues, we were probably a bit tired on both sides, but coming out on the other side, I'm really thinking this is where we moved the needle, right? This is where we can succeed with this tremendous challenge ahead of us that it is going to take for all of us to collaborate and move up that water ladder and create that bridge that's necessary. So I was excited, especially after Rwanda, and showing that it is possible to partner across sectors in different ways.
Yes, and that's just, Rwanda is just one example. So World Vision is working to achieve SDG 6, which I'm told means water, so I'm just going to say water. But to finish the job in all the other countries that we work in as well. So tell us about what's ahead and how others can join us in all these life-saving water efforts.
Thank you, Patricia. So we're on track in Rwanda. We're going next to Zambia and Honduras. And see, what we all have in common in this panel is, and other partners, is we believe we can actually end this water crisis in our lifetime.
Yeah.
There's a lot of questions about which goals can be achieved, which ones can't be. We believe this one can be done. We're showing the way. Not only in terms of reach and numbers of people, but also the quality of the access. We're working on moving to piping systems that go straight to the home. And so we're working on quantity, we're working on quality. And if you share this vision, if you care about the lives of women and girls in the poorest of the poorest countries around the world, we're here ready to partner with you. And so we'd invite you to consider partnering with World Vision and with all of us. This is a team sport.
Yeah, and I just want to say, as I've said before, I've seen how well World Vision works. It's a well-oiled machine. They know how to partner with other people. They're efficient, it's sustainable, it transforms communities for the long run. And I've been so impressed with the work, and my husband David Hunt and I want to be a part of solving this water crisis in our lifetime. So we've divested of some of the blessings that we've been given, and we're donating $1 million to World
Wow.
Vision. Which will be set up as a matching fund so you can join us. So we hope you do. And we want to thank you so much for being a part of this panel and listening to all the great work that World Vision is doing. Thank you so much. I hope you joined us.
Thank you.
Yes.